It began as just another promotional clip, a simple Adidas rollout meant to spotlight their new basketball shoe colorways. But by the time the cameras stopped rolling, Sophie Cunningham had turned a routine endorsement into the most talked-about commercial in the WNBA. Dressed in bold electric pink, she didn't just sell shoes, she sold a story. Her confidence radiated off the screen, her delivery was sharp, and her closing line, that sly, "I'm busy," landed like a mic drop. The ad wasn't just a product promo, it was a cultural moment. Overnight, it became impossible to scroll through social media without seeing Sophie's smirk or hearing debates about whether the clip contained hidden shots at the Indiana Fever. Adidas had clearly bet big on her. Gone were the days when Cunningham was just another role player, or the fiery defender standing up for Caitlin Clark. Now she was the star of a national campaign, her name headlining sneaker drops and lighting up hashtags. To Adidas, Sophie embodied exactly what the brand craved: attitude, authenticity, and the kind of unpredictable charisma that drives clicks and sells shoes. The rollout was timed to perfection, dropping days after her Good Morning America appearance and her controversial podcast comments about her next contract. Whether intentional or not, the sequence played like a masterclass in momentum. One moment, she was discussing her future and her worth. The next, she was front and center in a campaign that practically screamed independence. Fans were split. Some praised her for capitalizing on her newfound fame, applauding her hustle and charm. Others accused her of arrogance, claiming she was letting the spotlight go to her head. But no matter what side they took, everyone was talking about her. And that's the one thing Sophie has learned to master better than most. She knows how to make noise, and she knows how to turn that noise into leverage. When her commercial closed with Adidas's bold tagline encouraging players to be unapologetic, it was as if the line had been written just for her. Behind the scenes, though, tension began brewing. Sophie's recent comments about wanting a bigger contract and mentioning cities outside Indiana had already sparked anxiety among Fever fans. Was this Adidas ad her way of signaling a shift in loyalty, or was the brand simply amplifying her star power for sales? Either way, the implications were explosive. The Fever, long dependent on Caitlin Clark's stardom, suddenly faced a new dynamic. Another player commanding national attention, one with her own brand and booming market value. The whispers inside the organization grew louder. Could they afford to pay Sophie what she's worth, or would they risk losing her to a team ready to build around her charisma and influence? Adidas had done what the WNBA often struggled to do: make one player feel larger than the league itself. Sophie's commercial wasn't about basketball. It was about power. The power to define her image, to negotiate her worth, and to stand toe-to-toe with the media juggernauts shaping the sport's future. For a league historically focused on unity and collective image, Sophie's rise represented a new era. She wasn't waiting for permission to shine. She took the light and made it her own, but with that power came friction. In the Fever locker room, things began to shift. Some teammates admired Sophie's business savvy and star quality. Others quietly questioned whether her individual success was overshadowing the team's progress. It's a fine line in professional sports, where confidence can be mistaken for ego and personal ambition can blur into perceived betrayal. Yet Sophie didn't flinch. She leaned into it. Every headline, every viral TikTok, every fan debate added to her aura. Whether people loved her or hated her, they couldn't stop watching. What makes Sophie Cunningham's story so captivating is her awareness. She understands modern fame better than most athletes. She knows attention is currency and controversy is its multiplier. When critics called her MAGA Barbie back in Phoenix, she didn't hide from it, she monetized it. She flipped the insult into branding fuel, blending defiance with charm until even her detractors couldn't look away. That instinct, knowing how to turn backlash into visibility, is what separates Sophie from her peers. Now, with the Adidas spotlight blazing and her next contract looming, she stands at a career crossroads. The Fever front office is under immense pressure. Offer her too little and she walks. Overpay her, and it complicates their plans for Caitlin Clark's eventual max deal. But undervaluing Sophie could mean losing one of the WNBA's most marketable personalities, a player whose off-court presence drives as much attention as her game. Fans have already made their voices clear with hashtags demanding the team pay Sophie. The message is simple. Loyalty works both ways. At the same time, The media can't help but frame Sophie and Caitlin Clark as two sides of the same coin. Caitlin represents discipline, skill, and the humble superstar archetype. Sophie is chaos, confidence, and charisma personified, the rebel who thrives on unpredictability. Together, they're magnetic. Separately, they're unstoppable. And while the Fever may see a challenge in balancing their egos, the WNBA sees a goldmine in marketing them as the league's dynamic duo. Still, that partnership is fragile. Fame is volatile, and the slightest misstep, a comment, a tweet, a contract dispute, can tip the balance. For now, though, Sophie remains in control of her narrative. She's built an empire on authenticity and risk-taking, and the Adidas deal solidified her transformation from athlete to icon. Every brand wants a piece of her. Every fan has an opinion. Every headline seems to orbit around her next move. The beauty of Sophie Cunningham's rise is that she's rewritten the rules. She's shown that in women's basketball, the path to stardom doesn't have to follow tradition. You don't have to wait for endorsements, you can create them. You don't have to silence controversy, you can own it. And you don't have to fit a mold, you can break it and build your own. As the dust settles on her Adidas debut, one thing is certain. Sophie Cunningham is no longer just a player. She's a movement, a living, breathing brand whose influence extends far beyond the court. Whether she stays in Indiana or takes her electric pink persona to a new city, she's proven she's the kind of star the WNBA desperately needs. Bold, disruptive, and unforgettable. What do you think? Has Sophie Cunningham's rise changed the way fans see power and personality in the WNBA? Is she building a brand that strengthens the league or one that risks dividing it? Let's talk about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping modern sports.